Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day I bid to all. My name is Dr. Ibrahim, Group Executive Director of World Trade Center Kuala Lumpur, WTC KL, and Chairman of Conferences and Exhibitions Asia Pacific Member Advisory Council, World Trade Centers Association, WTCA. First of all, I would like to thank the Malaysian Tourism Council, MTC, for having me as one of the guest speakers for the second Malaysian Tourism Gold Summit 2021. I'm going to speak the topic entitled Economic Impact of Control Movement Orders on the Business Event Industry in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, the Organizations of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, estimated that the COVID-19 impact point to 60% decline in international tourism in 2020, which can rise to 80% if recovery is delayed. The impact of the crisis is being felt throughout the entire tourism ecosystem, and reopening and rebuilding destinations will require a joined-up approach. We are fortunate that the government has allowed for the tourism industry to partially open, starting with the opening of Langkawi for tourists. With that note, I would like to congratulate the Ministry of Tourism Malaysia, led by Yang Kehormat Dato Nancy Shukri, for the achievement of starting the opening of Pulau Langkawi. A recent analysis of the possible effect of COVID-19 on the international tourism was published by the World Tourism Organization, UNWTO. Given the unusual implementations of worldwide travel restrictions, an estimated 20% to 30% decline could lead to a drop in international tourism receipts, which is export, to 300 to 450 billion US dollars, nearly one-third of the 1.5 trillion US dollars produced in 2019. This means that growth of between 5 and 7 years would be lost to COVID-19 in view of past tourism industry trends. To take this into account, in 2009, the international tourist arrivals decreased by 4% against the backdrop of the global economic crisis. Meanwhile, in 2003, the SARS epidemic led to the decrease of just 0.4%. However, another angle to look into tourism also includes the meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibition, MICE, and business event, BE sectors. The business events is among the key contributors of Malaysia's economic, as in 2019 alone, the industry generated over RM 27.5 billion to the country's GDP. During these trying times, the industry players has come together to support each other in continuing to bring people together to not only create economic wealth, but more importantly, to promote the exchange of knowledge, expertise, and skills. For the last decade, from 2010 to 2020, Malaysia has hosted more than 2,600 business events activities that brought in 1.3 million international delegates, with RM 16.7 billion in economic impact and RM 8.4 billion in direct delegate expenditure, which is stated by myself. In short, for every ringgit spent by leisure tourists, the business event traveler will spend 4 times more. Ladies and gentlemen, in the aims of bringing, connecting people and building dynamic environment for businesses, the industry is at loss of freedom in doing face-to-face or in-person events which are no longer allowed thus far. This has also led to an estimated global economic loss for some USD 14 billion to USD 22 billion. In Malaysia, we are currently still in partial lockdowns which have restricted the movement and momentum of this industry. Tourism is one of the country's largest industries and contributes an estimated 5.9% to the country's GDP. According to a report by the Malaysian Association of Convention and Exhibition Organisers and Suppliers, MASIOS, in 2020, an estimated total of 813 business events were cancelled and caused a direct loss of RM 203 million and 737 business events were postponed, all worth an estimated RM 209 million in total. Alternatively, the industry has taken means of adjustments as reported by the Asian Federation of Exhibition and Convention Association Africa survey, which means that 93% of event organizers carry out of the business events on hybrid and virtual format. This is to ensure its visibility and liability in continuing to engage with its stakeholders. The Visit Malaysia campaign 2020 was planned to be launched in 2020. Unfortunately, the tourist arrivals dwindled in the year as Malaysia closed its borders to international visitors and restricted entry for non-residents into the country. In all, Malaysia welcomed just 4.33 million international visitors in 2020, a huge drop from 2019's 26.1 million arrivals. Although we are far from unique in seeing the tourism industry crumble, it is a very far cry from the 30 million visitors that the government had foreseen as part of the Visit Malaysia 2020 initiative, which was then quietly dropped in March last year. In reality, annual tourism receipts dropped by 85.3%, falling to their lowest level since 1998, according to figures from Tourism Malaysia. The tourism-related businesses also saw a significant decrease in earnings as tourism receipts all but dried up. As of the third quarter of 2021, interstate travel is still prohibited, and this essentially puts a stop to domestic tourism, which has been the bread and butter for many tourism players, including shops, food outlets, and craft works. The Business Events Council Malaysia, BECM or BECA, is a national council established to represent the voice of Malaysia's business event industry while increasing engagement, and encouraging leadership within the industry's supplier community. The BECM or BECA has 28,000 companies driving the economy, including its affiliate associations. World Trade Center Kuala Lumpur is part of BECM. The business events industry employs over 3.24 million people in its entire ecosystem. The BECA or BECM also represent 9 trade associations from the exhibition, conference, meeting, planners, event management, hotel, travel and tour, live events, retail, food and beverage industry. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, tourism is a crucial pillar for economic growth, supporting an estimated 330 million jobs, 1 in 10 jobs around the world, and contributing 10.3% of the global GDP in 2019. In April 2020, the International Labour Organization (ILO) estimated that the jobs and livelihoods of at least 15.3 million workers, 6.4 million women, and 8.9 million men in the tourism industry are at risk because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The entire tourism industry also includes staff of airlines, hotels, travel agencies, and transport companies across the region, whereby they are being asked to take paid or unpaid leave, accept reduced wages, or worse, many of them are retrenched. In January 2021, the unemployment rate of the tourism industry in Malaysia rose to 4.9% from 4.8%, which is as estimated numbers of 9,700 to 782,500 from 772,900 in December 2020. The revival of the business event industry is key to helping Malaysia economy to get back on track. Its survival is a must. Therefore, reclassifications of this industry should be done now. The country cannot suffer another loss of RM 4.05 billion. Moreover, the wave of unemployed is getting worse as we wait to move into phase 4 of the National Recovery Plan (NRP). The government of Malaysia should highlight specific provision that focuses on business continuity and economic resilience amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The government must recognize the industry's contributions towards the economic recovery. The BE industry plays a big role as a frontliner in the economic sector. It would be a shiny ray of hope if the government can enhance engagement with business event stakeholders. If events are conducted in strict adherence to the Standard Operating Procedure (SOP), the industry can help to stimulate economic recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is on the path towards achieving herd immunity by the end of September through the successful implementation of the COVID-19 immunization program. It is also essential for the government to consider easing restrictions imposed on business events. The industries can stimulate the country's economy and can contribute immensely to helping Malaysia to survive, revive, and thrive. In order to get us back and rolling, we all should stand together in efforts to promote homegrown campaigns. For instance, the Made in Malaysia campaign held by the Malaysian Convention and Exhibition Bureau, MICEB, regional and international convention and domestic corporate meetings. The Made in Malaysia campaign aims to stimulate the business events segment further and help the industry to kickstart their business again as soon as possible. The Made in Malaysia campaign encompasses two simultaneous initiatives entitled Let's Meet Tomorrow and Let's Meet Locally programs. The Made in Malaysia campaign ran until December 2021. The Let's Meet Tomorrow program is initiated to help industry players to plan and prepare for future international business events to be organized in Malaysia for international delegates to come and will take into effect once the international border is open, while Let's Meet Locally will take into effect once the local business event sector is allowed to operate. Apart from the Made in Malaysia campaign, MICEB has also rolled out several initiatives to boost the market and cushion challenges faced by the industry players. They include the Tactical Malaysia Twin Deal 5, Exhibition Enhancement Package, and Homegrown Event Support. It is with great hopes that we can all recover from these trying times and that the industry can go far and blossom better than before. Thank you all for taking the time to join me, and I hope that the industry can continue to do wonders. Take care and stay safe all. Thank you.